An MCP server is a great way to extend the functionality of your chatbots and agents. But I don't need MCP, that's what CLIs are for. Actually, you're right, CLIs are great and often my preference. But access to agentic workflows isn't just limited to coding environments anymore. MCP makes it easy for anyone to install your extensions into their chatbots and clients and agentic harnesses of all shades. Right now, I just want to scaffold a basic MCP server and then authenticate it with WorkOS AuthKit. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've actually done this twice before, one in TypeScript and one in Python. Both were disastrous. I have a pretty low bar for the nonsense that I will share with you, but these were just like, I didn't want to even look at them after recording. So this walkthrough is a new MCP server, but has the kind of benefit of those broken experiences in the past. So let's make an authenticated MCP server. Let's get into it. Hey Codex, I'd like to set up a basic MCP server. My preference right now is FastMCP, and you'll note that I have UV already installed for new Python apps. Set me up in this directory with a minimum viable FastMCP app on the latest version. Let's go. I actually can't decide if I like the accurate or the ridiculous verbs better. I think this is one of the things that makes Claude Code more fun, but Codex better. Okay, so we have our MCP server with instructions on how to run it. Let's give that a try. UV run python main.py. And we're off to the races. Get a cute little logo here. That's actually one of the better ASCII art logos I've ever seen. Now, I actually don't even know what tools we have available in here. So let's install this into Codex. Add server, streamable HTTP, and it looks like we'll need a little bit more information to pull this off. Give me all the information that I need to add this new MCP server as a local MCP to Codex. Interesting, I confirmed that Codex has a first-class MCP add command, so I'm now pulling the exact flags and config system to give you a precise one command setup and a manual TOML fallback. That is nice. Okay, use this exact setup for your FastMCP server at main.py. And one thing that I'm realizing is this is probably running as STDIO or standard IO or studio. I literally have no idea, which is one of the options for an MCP server, but I want a streamable HTTP one. So let's confirm. Hey, real quick, I forgot to specify that I really want this to be an HTTP server, not a STDIO or standard IO server. Is that how it's set up right now? If not, can you fix it? Okay, confirmed. Yes, it is set up as STDIO. It's got to be standard IO, right? It's not studio. It's definitely not STDIO. Comment if you know exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced. Okay, so the MCP service is working the way that we want. We can run this code, which I think might still be running, so we'll need to kill that and run it again. Confirmed, that's our server port. Great. Okay, let's get it back into Codex now using HTTP. Okay, it's back in the Codex configuration. We'll see if we need to restart anything, but these are the options that we need. We are getting requests though, so let's check it out. MCP servers. There we go. FastMCP local. I don't see any tools, which is I'm actually accustomed to in Cursor. Now we are seeing failed requests to these well-known OAuth authorization server / MCP endpoints. And those will be important to resolve as we add authorization to the server. Do we have any tools available yet? If not, can you add a basic one, like a greeting or something? Actually, no, better. A tool that just adds Tastic to your name. Let's call it Tasticify. Oh, got it. It started with an add tool by default. Man, this is great. It knew that I had a process that I was running and killed it to run its own. Great. Okay, just to be safe, I'm gonna restart Codex and try this out. Hey, make my name more exciting. My name is Michael. That's so dumb. Okay, so we made the world's dumbest MCP server, but it does work. Now, not that anyone would have a reason to authenticate such a worthless MCP server, but now that we have a basic one, let's add some authentication to it. This is perfect. Commit here. Okay, now we don't have a Git repository, so theoretically it'll just make one for us, which is great. Beautiful. Okay, so WorkOS has MCP auth And in addition to all this information and architecture stuff, we have some documentation. Now, I want to link this documentation so that Codex can find everything that it needs to implement this service. Okay, Codex, it is time for us to add authentication. I am including a link to the entry point of the WorkOS AuthKit docs. I'd like for you to implement this with as few lines as possible. I don't mind inlined code. I prefer that over abstracted functions. Please use environment variables for any keys or settings that we may want to change as we deploy this into production. Okay, and then I will paste my link to documentation and see how far we get. Okay, where did we get? So we were able to pass these local validations now, which is an important part. We have a few environment variables that we need to add in order to authenticate properly. And we're using the built-in AuthKit provider. So now that we have this project open in Cursor, we can see a handful of things. Our imports, which includes the built-in AuthKit provider, our instantiation of FastMCP, which establishes an AuthKit provider using these environment variables. Now, I'm not seeing environments. That's the virtual environment for Python. So we may need to add it. Finally, there is this block down here, which I think defines the host, port, and default path when actually running this MCP server. So I'm just going to ask, give me a sample.env file that I can fill out. All right, so let's just copy that and put it in what I've already called .env. So in the WorkOS dashboard, we need to get some of that information now. Our client ID for staging is available here. It's setting a couple scopes that are required for everything. This is our base URL, and I need the URL for AuthKit, which can be found in Authentication domains. Yep, right here at the bottom. Copy link address, and we should be good to go. I've added a .env file with all of the required data. Actually, I just remembered one more thing that we have to do, and this is critical and what was kind of blocking me before. In the connect page, we need to open configuration and enable both of these. They're disabled by default, and I couldn't get anything done without enabling these. So very critical step if you're following along. Okay, so let's do this. Let's copy our run code. Let's quit Codex just so we can get a fresh instance of all this. Run our run code. Looks like our server is running just fine, and open Codex again. In Codex, I want to go back to my MCP servers, and look at that. We now see an authenticate button, which is super cool. What happens now? Authenticate. We're going to go to our hosted AuthKit page, Google, to jump back in with my account. Codex would like to access my account. Sure, let's go. Authentication complete. You may close this window. So let's go back here and say, now that we have authentication required, put the Tasticify tool behind authentication so that it can only be accessed when authenticated. Okay, Tasticify is now explicitly behind auth. At the tool level, we added a per tool auth check in main.py and added an environment variable, Tasticify required scopes. I actually don't love this implementation because I know that I won't be able to keep the two files in sync, and I don't want a case where it defaults to a different set of permissions. So can we just keep the scopes in the code? All right, so let's kill our server and run it again. We can validate in our code what change took place. Inside this tool function method, I'm not sure, we now have the name and auth required scopes. But as far as I can tell, that's the only thing that changed. Let's jump into MCP servers real quick and turn this off, restart maybe, and turn it back on again. I don't know if that officially refreshes the connection, probably not, but wanted to give at least an effort. I have a friend whose name is Ben. Make his name fantastic. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so that's it for today. We built an MCP server using FastMCP, and we authenticated it with WorkOS AuthKit. I know what you're thinking. We didn't do anything. It was all Codex. And isn't that amazing? As someone who's been writing code for, I don't know, a quarter century or more, I actually like that it knows how to do the debugging. Just take an intention, apply it through any language, and just keep going until it works. That is the process that we do. And it's the part of making stuff that I actually hate. Because when we look at the code's actually pretty simple. It's very legible. But getting there takes a lot of debugging steps that we were able to avoid with Codex. Codex was a great pair partner today. So anyway, that's how to make MCP servers with FastMCP using an AI agent and authenticating them with WorkOS. I don't know if I need to disclose that I work at WorkOS, but I do. So that's what we used WorkOS AuthKit for this. I'm sure you could do this with other providers. You'll have to watch someone else's videos for that. Before you take off, tell me, do you like this style of coding? Do you like, having an agent just be able to run your ideas in this way? What are your success stories? Let me know in the comments below.